I'm saying headphones is kind of just like it's not really a plural. It's a singular thing in
Pants.
American culture.
Do you wear a pant or do you wear pants?
I understand, but in our culture, the way we say it, we don't mean plural. It's just that's the way the word. That's just the word for it.
Well, no, I mean because you're talking about each
First of all,
year.
I'm defending you. Keep this in the back of your mind.
What? Against who?
Against
Who are
the
my
masses. The masses. Because you said a headphones, and I said that. I made fun of you at first, and I said no. That is correct.
No. You said a headphone.
No.
And
roll the tape back.
I was defending you.
No. What? Now you're just trying to fuck with me.
What? let me know if you hear a bunch of silly shit on this side, okay?
Yeah, I've been here for 58 seconds.
Hey, who's counting?
All right.
Okay, so we're gonna record.
Well, I was gonna say
computer.
tonight should be a short one, but I'm feeling kind of frisky now.
Okay. Well, how about this? One option is tonight could be a couple short ones.
Yeah, that was the plan a long time ago.
Do you want to do that,
I don't
or
know.
do you want to just?
We just do what we do.
Okay. All right. Let's come up with some ideas.
Damn it! I had one yesterday. It was 3 a.m. I was like, should I text him?
How about it was 3 a.m?
Oh, come on.
Okay.
Could be the opening
What else we
dialogue.
Okay. Well, that's not how we do
Let me
it.
just look through my phone, see if anything
I'll look through my phone too.
reminds me.
What do I got here? Pictures of Jerry's mom, pictures of Jerry's sister, pictures of Jerry.
Oh, actually, I just came across a picture of your mom. I just sent it to you. Oh shit!
What?
I should have sent it to you.
Oh my god. Oh no. What the fuck is this?
I did a photo shoot the other day, and it was a sex doll involved.
What was the photo shoot?
I can't tell you yet.
Why can't you tell me?
Because it hasn't been published.
Oh my god. Did you sign an NDA? Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that sounds like a crazy idea.
All right, awesome.
So, yeah. Anyway, let's get back to this now.
Okay, all right.
9 minutes and 18 seconds in.
Okay, as far as titles go, one that I have is Trail Creatures.
Okay. I don't hate it.
Another?
It's a little on the nose, but I like it.
Okay, well, you throw some out. We had what was the one from earlier? Help! I've turned into a fence.
What?
Oh, a bench.
Oh, a bench. Yeah.
But a fence is good too.
Oh my God! What's that saying
yeah.
about neighbors and fences?
Good fences.
Yeah.
It was a great present to get your neighbors.
No, good fences. That's a great name.
Good. Oh yes. Wait, how about Good Neighbors? It's a much worse title. I'm joking. Good Fences. Okay, I love that.
Yeah, dude.
All right,
I'm really into this now.
All right. So
Good fences.
Good Fences. All right. So set us up. I'm thinking we start off.
Well, yeah, we start off with seeing the picket fence.
We start off. That's how we do.
Yes, we start. It starts.
It starts. And I think we gotta. I think this takes place in Maine.
Yeah.
Like a Stephen King
Yeah.
story.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Because I think that's a Yankee saying. That's like a New England saying.
Wow, it's already all come together.
It's coming together. And we start off and we have an old man.
I see.
Yeah, you go. I think you're always better at starting things off.
Yeah.
At setting the stage.
So like we're fading in, and it's fading into pure white, and then
fading into white from what?
From black.
I can't even imagine that.
Yeah.
That's such a long journey.
Exactly. So it's like this fucking visual mindfuck all of a sudden, and then you realize that the white, as we're panning out from it, it's moving, from right to left. It's going past us, but we're zooming out as well.
Wait,
and we realize that.
Wait, what? How? How is the color?
So it's black, and then all of a sudden it fades in, but it's pure white. And then the white is kind of like calming down, and you realize that the camera's tracking past something that's pure white, and then it's zooming out as well. And then we realize that we were really close, and we're tracking past a white picket fence.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry,
all right.
that's very hard to get out.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't understand, but
Really?
I like where we are.
Okay, so then,
No, don't say it again. Don't say it again.
We're tracking past the fence, and we're panning out.
So okay,
And now the shot ends on a crow sitting on the fence, and then
Okay.
and it goes.
Oh, it looks at the fence, it caws, and then a shovel comes and smashes it down.
Okay, I was gonna say in the
spikes
distance we hear a gunshot, and then it goes dead. But I like the shovel better.
Oh, come on, this is better.
The shovel's definitely better.
Then we zoom to the end of the shovel, and who's holding it? But
The
an
old man.
Yeah,
It's going to actually rival Psycho 2. You know, the shovel scene?
Yes.
Or no, Psycho 3.
Oh yeah, we will be obliterating a bird.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And,
And to make it even worse, we'll like name it and get to know it first.
yeah, at least for a month.
Yeah, we'll use a crow, and they have like sentience and intelligence.
Oh, my God.
So we're
They're
really
like 12-year-olds.
hurting. Yeah, we're like killing a child.
Okay, so we'll do that,
Yes.
and then we'll do it again, and we'll film it.
Yes. So then we cut. We file, now we track the length of the shovel, and we see the old man. And what's he say? What's he say about
He goes,
having just destroyed this bird?
goddamn goddamn winged rat.
Wait, I
No,
like
that's a New York City thing.
Goddamn crit folk.
Yeah, crit folk.
Yeah.
Now you're just making shit up.
No, yeah, it's like a made up, like, you know, no one's ever been to New England, so we can just make up a lot of fucking bullshit.
It is a fairy tale land.
Yeah. And then we get a call from inside. Pa, come on in. And then he looks back, then he looks at the crow, and then he heads in, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay. So he sits down. He
Hold
lights a
on,
cigarette.
I hear noise. Hold on a second. Yo, that wasn't from you?
What was it?
That was on your end?
No. What was it?
No, I just heard talking, but I guess might have been outside.
Yeah. Okay. So he sits down at the breakfast table. He lights a cigarette. His wife, an old lady, is sending breakfast, and she goes, "I wish you wouldn't smoke with breakfast." And he goes, "I wish you wouldn't put eggs down when I'm smoking."
I wish you wouldn't put eggs down when I'm smoking.
Yeah.
Eggs down.
Eggs down. and that's what she looks at him and she goes, "Eggs down, huh?" And she's like, she has a completely different attitude than him, and she just heads back to the
old egg downing.
Yeah, and he sticks his cigarette like into the egg, like ashes it out in there, and then he starts cutting and eating the egg.
Oh, so he put it in the yolk?
Well, I was imagining scrambled eggs, but yeah, he's eating his impromptu ashtray now.
Really? So he doesn't care about himself.
He doesn't. He's just.
That's very self-deprivation. Deprivating.
This man hates in all directions, left, right, inside, out.
Yeah, and he's chewing, and he looks up at his wife and goes, if my gout wasn't acting up, I'd get up and smack you.
And she goes, and she's like, is totally nonplussed by it, and she's like, well, I better keep feeding you rich foods then, I guess.
She goes, I guess no potassium for you.
Yeah, and he goes, and all of a sudden the house starts shaking, and she goes, "What is it?" And he goes, "It's damn crit folk."
Yeah, and he grabs his shovel that's sitting on the chair next to him, propped up against it.
And he steps outside, and she goes, "Oh Lord!" And he gets outside, and then we see.
No, wait! Before he goes out, she goes, "Oh, Bob."
Yep. A Bobaby.
I wasn't gonna go with it. My mouth decided yes. So Bobby, she goes, "Oh, Bobby, no more birds." And then she goes, "Leave the birds alone." And he turns.
He goes, "It ain't a bird that's doing it, it's shaking."
Yeah, but he says that, but he turns around quickly and shoves the shovel right under her neck, and she's up against the wall next to the cord phone, the line. And she's like, "Oh," and he goes, "What does he say?"
He goes, "Oh, maybe he goes." But he goes, You want the house shaking, or you want no more bird guts? Make up your mind." And he storms off.
What? Like sex?
What?
What? Why is that? Oh, the house was shaking already.
The house was shaking.
I thought he was like giving her all. He's like, either the house is gonna be shaking or I'm gonna kill the bird. You pick. Sorry. All right. Sorry.
All right.
Kill the bird, I guess.
I'm gonna go somewhere stupid. So take us somewhere smart.
Okay. Where you
Professor
going?
Jerry.
Come on, don't take it too stupid.
No, I'm going outside. I'm imagining he sees giant rat-shaped people chewing at the foundation of the house. Then I thought, no, that's too silly. Maybe there's a big bird on the roof trying to pull it out of the ground like a worm.
Oh. Okay.
Well, now that I said those ideas out loud, I've fallen in love with them. So pick one.
Well, let's maybe mix and compromise. Let's see.
Yes, there's a bird.
How about there's no, there's new neighbors. Come on, there's a new neighbor.
Why is that shaking the house?
Well, because they go outside and they see moving trucks.
Because they're blasting music.
Well, they just see the moving trucks and there's bulldozers. You know those scenes in like there's like a couple scenes in like early '90s or '80s movies like.
Oh, who's ripping off Beetlejuice
yeah, exactly.
now?
We have to do a little bit of rip off of Beetlejuice every episode.
Come
Come on. They're moving in. They're bulldozing. I also think they did that in the Money Pit. They also did that. Remember?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, so they are. Yes, they are. They're moving in, and on
it's
the
the side of his property where there is no fence.
Yeah, and his house is like this little, like quaint, like it's really beautiful.
Yeah, and there's
his house,
and there's like 10 acres of corn right behind it.
And they're building like they're like putting the finishing touches on this like big McMansion. It's like just a monstrosity, and he goes, "When the hell did that?"
He goes, goddamn prefab homes going up overnight. Fucking made in China.
Yeah, and he spits on the ground. And then he digs a little, then he gets down on the ground, he digs a little hole and spits in that hole, and he goes, "That's for you, China."
Yeah, and then his wife is coming out as he's saying that, and she goes, "Oh, honey, they're Chinese?"
Wait, they can't hear you down there.
Okay, I like that one better.
They're busy.
Honey, they can't hear you. They're on the other side of the earth. They're busy?
Okay.
Jesus.
Wait, what? They're busy.
They're always working.
They got a whole fucking society.
They got a whole thing going over there in China.
So then, then this yuppie fuck walks over to him. This jerk ass from New York.
I see him. He's wearing those loafers with no socks and like.
No. He's all he's like a wannabe Yankee. He's a wannabe New England guy. He's wearing all LL Bean.
Oh my God! Even worse. Clean Carhartts.
Yeah. He's got the Eddie Bauer Subaru.
Oh my God! Nice.
Yeah.
Or no, it's gotta be. It's gotta be one of those electric cars.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what kind of tax cuts we get. Yeah. So he goes and he goes, "Hey, I'm your new neighbor, Gary Lampchick."
And the old man goes,
"I ain't never heard a name like that."
And his wife is like standing next to him, and her hand like patting his chest, like, "Oh, what he means to say is, konnichiwa." Sorry.
And Gary kind of just like nervously pulls his hand back. It's like, well, anyway, I hope we didn't disturb your breakfast. We're we're just getting finished up here. You know, we're gonna be here for the rest of our lives.
I hope you don't mind
and
us putting in a Olympic-sized swimming pool in the back.
You're free to use it whenever you want. He's like, I don't swim. I don't trust the water.
And he goes, hey, what you growing there? Wheat? He goes, corn. Ah, old cornbread. But he
goes, it ain't made for bread.
He goes, no, I meant it. Wait, how do you spell the other bread? Like
What
breeding,
other
you know,
bread?
like pedigree.
Oh, BRED.
Yeah, he says that. He goes, no, I meant BRED, if that's even how you spell it. And
He goes, I don't know about letters,
don't talk.
but I do know you better get that construction crew to quiet down, and then you better never cross this property line again. And he goes, whoa, okay.
Because this is
listen.
the quietest farm in the world. I don't want to hear no construction equipment.
And he goes, listen, buddy, listen, I respect that you're uncomfortable, but you're a part of a community.
And you're a farmer, for God's sakes. You can't take the noise? Get off the farm, as they say down where I come from. He gets really aggressive.
No, I think
he gets really aggressive.
No. I think this yuppie is like very like matter of fact. Like he's passive.
And that's what
aggressive.
makes it really annoying.
That's what makes it so fucking annoying. Yeah, he goes, you're part of a community, and there's new blood, and sometimes that makes a little bit of noise. We'll try to keep it down, but you have to have reasonable expectations. And then he tries to spit. He goes, I'm all out of spit, but imagine me spitting. That's what I think of your reasonable expectations.
Yeah. What's it called when you have a dry mouth, periodontics or something?
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, well, his wife goes, oh, honey, it's just your periodontics. You can't spit. You got no saliva. Anyway,
Wait, why are you making her like a Long Island lady now?
No, it's the only kind of woman I know.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's not her. These are
Oh, right.
old. These
so she
are
doesn't
like,
say anything about his periodontics.
She goes, it's your periodontist, honey. He goes, it ain't my periodontics, and I ain't your honey.
But diabetes is fine.
I ain't never been sweet in a day of my life, and especially not today with these freaks
And he
moving
pulls out a
in.
shotgun and shoots his head off.
Does he? Do we take it
I
that
don't
far?
know.
No, because
No.
we're actually accidentally working towards the
Yeah,
title
yeah.
because he goes, the old man points to a line in the road, the line between their properties. You see that line? That's where your land ends. You ain't never crossing that again. And then the guy looks. He's like, I don't see a line. And the old man goes, well, you will. And then we cut to the next day, and the old man is starting to build a fence. But because he's got the white picket fence.
That was just for the
only
cornfield, to
covers
go into the cornfield.
Well, no, that just covers like him out into the
Yeah.
road. But now he needs to build a fence. So we cut to him, and he needs a fence with this property. So he goes to the hardware store, and he's like, I need some more white pickets. And what's the old man's name? Dan?
Bobby. Everyone says Bobby.
Yeah. That's what the hardware store guy says when Bobby walks in, and he goes, "We Governor outlawed pickets," and he goes,
What?
That's the craziest damn thing I ever heard. What do you mean? It's like some kid fell on him, and it turned him all weird.
Yeah.
It's like turned him weird. He's like, yeah, it's just weird now.
He lost a testicle. You'd be weird too.
It's like, oh my god.
I know.
Does he have another?
Nah.
And I go, oh,
no,
sure. He's got a bunch.
This kid was born with one. And that's
my
that's why
God.
it's so tragic.
This is the stupidest part of this story yet. Let's move on.
We should go into a little short side film.
No, so there's no pickets. Basically, there's no pickets. They stopped making them.
That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Well, I want him to build the fence out of something weird.
Well, how about they just say, we're getting a new shipment of lumber on Monday because of the storm. It's delayed. Can I offer you this other?
Oh yeah, wait.
material?"
He goes, you know those pickets have to come all the way from China. They can't make it here during a storm. He goes, China.
Yeah. No, he shows him. He shows him
then
a bunch of different variety. He goes, let me see that. He turns it over and it says "Made in China." And he goes, "Not this one." He goes, "Give me that one." "Not this one." He goes, "Give me that one." He goes, "What is this?" He goes, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "It's all China."
And he goes, yeah, they're like the largest producer in the world.
Literally everything I'm wearing was made in China. You too.
And he goes, I knit my clothes out of my old clothes.
No. He goes, he goes up really close to him, and he goes, What?
Okay. I don't think we should
Come
say
on.
that.
That's really intense because he's,
It-
it's showing his closed-minded home.
I know, but then we have to say it.
Anyway.
I think he just sews his clothes out of his old clothes.
Right. But I wanted him to go later and realize, like, he finally, like, looks himself in the mirror and he, like, reluctantly looks at the tag and it says "Made in China." And then the next scene just shows him naked in the field burning his clothes in the fog.
I like that. I like that. We could make both of those
so
work.
he says what?
Because his old clothes were made of from China too.
No. But if he says he knits he doesn't knit his own clothes. That's psychotic.
He's
No, come on.
psychotic.
He goes, "Trust me, I know where my clothes are from."
Okay. All right.
And then
all right.
he goes home. Wait, well, no. He has to get.
Oh
he has to get the fence.
So he leaves and then he looks at the hardware store. He grimaces, and then he looks at the alley and he sees a bunch of like fucked up looking wood. Like, what's going on here? What's this wood look like, Jerry? Jerry? Fuck, are you gone? Yeah, that
Hey.
might happen again. I
Can you
don't
hear me?
know. This will be the last time we're doing remote anyway, though.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
because we'll start doing in person this weekend. Oh. Okay, so he leaves the hardware store, and then I think he looks out into the alley, and maybe he sees a bunch of old wood
Old wood? Where?
in the alley.
Oh yeah.
But this wood's weird. What's weird about it?
This wood is weird.
Yeah.
It's
Okay, maybe he doesn't go to the alley. Maybe what he does is he's like, I'll get my own wood, and he just buys, he buys an axe. That's what he gets from the hardware store, and then he goes out into a field, and he's trying to find a good tree, and it's starting to rain, and there's lightning, and you know. So
he's gonna build a fence out of a tree.
Yeah. That's where he's going to get the lumber. But it's got to be a giant fucking tree. So get us there. Get us to that big tree.
So he goes in the back of his house and he finds a tree, but then he realizes it's on the other guy's property.
No. No, he's out in the woods, I think. He's like looking for the biggest tree he could find. Because I think there should be something like mystical and fucked up about this tree, you know?
Yeah, mystical.
Yeah, that's a word I said in the last sentence I said.
So then,
Well, wait, tell me, get me there. Help me get to that. Well, don't worry, you take the wheel. You take the wheel.
so I think he. Okay. So he's at the hardware store. He realizes everything's made in China. He freaks out and he says, I know exactly what I put on my back. And he goes home and he sees his wife. And his wife's like, how'd everything go, honey? He goes, I don't want to talk about it. He's like just an asshole, man. Why would she want to be married to this guy? And then she's like, well, I made supper. And he goes, he walks up. He's walking upstairs to like go shower, but he doesn't say that. She goes, "But honey, I made supper." He goes, and he doesn't say anything. And she goes, "Should I put it outside for you?" And he just slams the door in the bathroom. And now he's got the.
Sorry, I just had a place to possibly go, but if you know where you're going, keep going.
Well, let me just say this. And then he's in the bathroom looking at himself in the mirror, and the water's running, and it's like hot water, and it's steaming. And he's like looking at himself in the mirror, and the camera's zooming in on him looking at himself. And finally, he like blinks, and he takes his hand and he pulls his tag from the back of his shirt, and he looks at it. And in the mirror, we see him looking at it, and we zoom in on the mirror what it says. And it says China backwards.
Mm-hmm.
And then we look at his eyes, and they're just furious and bloodshot, and just sweat dripping. And then the steam is rising, and he's just sitting there like, shaking. And then he just smashes the mirror. We see a crack, and the image of him shatters.
Well, no. When it cracks, and then behind it is flames, and then we cut to the scene of him standing in front of a bonfire, burning his clothes.
It's like a beautiful, smooth fade. And
So
now we're panning
totally
in, and
nude.
it's like dusk, and it's like bluish light out, and it's got fog everywhere, and
Yeah.
he's completely nude, and the fire is raging.
Then he grabs, he brought out there a sewing kit. He picks it up, and he walks to this big hole. He walks follow me, follow me.
Okay.
He's walking there. All he's got is a sewing kit and a shovel. A squirrel runs by. He decapitates the squirrel really quick, and then he grabs it by the tail, and he keeps walking. And he walks to this big, huge hole in the ground in the back of his farm that's just full of the bodies of dead animals. And he goes, "Lousy crit folk," and he throws the squirrel into the pit. And then he goes down there, and he pulls out a deer, and he pulls out a couple of raccoons, and then he starts sewing clothes together out of all these bloody pelts of these animals. And then he's looking at the house, and he hears he hears them. They're playing like Parcheesi. They're having a good time, and he's so pissed off. And then he looks down at the bones of the animals he just stripped, and he goes, "I don't know." And then we cut to him madly erecting a fence made of bones, because he's got tons of fucking animals in there. And it's just this bone fence that he's building between him and his shitty neighbors. Oh, he's actually a shitty neighbor.
Yeah. I love it. But there has to be a scene where he's standing there naked, looking through the flames at their house, at them playing Parcheesi through the big window in the dining room.
Yeah. And they look out at him, and they're like, "Is that old man naked?"
Yeah, no, yeah. So we go inside the party, and they're all laughing, and they're like, "I can't believe he said that." And then one of the friends looks outside the window and goes, "Wow, your neighbor's got a pretty nice bonfire they're going there."
Pretty nice cock. Oh yeah, they don't build them like they used to.
I think he's Dutch Irish.
That's a joke just for you. It is a nonsense phrase.
Okay, so yeah, all that happens. Everything we said was great.
So then we
This movie's gonna be visually beautiful, first of all.
Yeah, it sounds boring as shit.
What?
But it will look beautiful.
I see it in my head.
You see it, and that is the challenge to the listener. See it
Well,
with your
close
ears.
your eyes. Okay,
Shut
so then
your mouth, open your ears.
So
Your-
okay. So
Your eyes, don't worry about. So now he's building this fence out of bones, and it's a fucking It's like this.
But
thing-
now we're okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're getting just like really dark images, like of like glimpses of this happening, because it's like dirt and hands moving and like dirty
and
hands and
he's
bones.
also just grabbing live animals and smashing them onto like impaling them onto the fence to shore it up.
Well,
So
I
there-
was okay.
There's like dying
yeah.
animals are a
Yes.
part of the fence, and it's spiked up, and he's baited it
Yeah.
so that animals will keep getting baited and dying on it.
Yeah, there's
So
baiting going on everywhere.
Yeah,
And there's one part where he takes like a one animal and rips the leg off from the the back leg off from the hips and pulls the ligament out and uses the ligaments as like rope to twine,
Yeah.
twine.
yeah.
And it's just like really close, like gruesome shots of like goo and fingers and eyes and.
And
Anyway,
the, and the last shot is just him drunkenly peeing on the fence.
Well, I don't know. I think we should keep it like mysterious. What it's like? He's he finishing? How big is it? It's just we just get these weird, crazy shots, and then we're starting to get more. We're starting to go into the dinner party.
Yeah.
Okay, So that first shot of them looking out at the bonfire was like the entrance now for us to be over there.
Have they just been watching all of this?
Well, they're just like still going on with the party because from their perspective, they can just see a huge fire in the distance. They can't really see because it's kind of like a silhouette.
Yeah.
So like the fire, whatever's in front of the fire, they can't really see it because it's
Yeah,
it's not
yeah,
behind
yeah.
the fire.
But now the fire's getting blocked out by the fence.
Yeah, now they're starting to see a silhouette effect happening.
Yeah. Like
and
an
now
eclipse.
the guy who noticed the fire in the beginning, they're all in the other room now. Like around that fire, like there's like this symbolism fire going on. I think it should happen, and they're all talking about their cool jobs and everything. And then the other guy finally again he goes, "Hey, your neighbor again. You see?" Okay, sorry.
Seems like he's building a fence out of bones and dying animals.
Yes.
And then he goes, huh. Maybe
No.
that's
What? He doesn't see that. He goes. He's building some sort of fence.
He's building a structure.
Yeah, and then his friend gets up and looks. He goes, "What?"
I talked to that guy earlier, and he was kind of a dick.
He goes, "This is so crazy. Who the hell works at 10:30 at night?" And everyone laughs, and they all like start making like hick jokes and everything. And he goes, and then like the laughter dies down, and the guy who noticed it in the first place goes, "No, but seriously, maybe you should go check to make sure he's not building on your property line because I know with all my properties, everyone's always trying to steal just a little bit, and if you give them a little bit, they're always trying to take more than that. So
Yeah.
you really shouldn't. You should really either call your lawyers or like just settle it now." And, he's like talking all this crazy shit, and the guy's like, "Oh my
Oh,
god."
he's doing coke.
Yeah, everyone's on
They're
coke. Yeah,
yuppies.
yeah. Everyone's high on coke.
So he's like talking like a mile a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like completely like gassing his head up. Well, he's not gassing up because he's like actually talking the truth, And so then finally he's like,
So wait, so the new guy, the yuppie, walks out, and he's got a tape measure.
a tape measurer,
Yeah.
so it measures tapes.
Jerry, you know what a tape measure is. I'm pretty sure you work in construction.
Yeah, it's a tape measure.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
It's not a measurer.
It's a tape measurer.
It measures tapes.
No, it's a measure made of tape. It's like a gangster rapper is a rapper that's all G. He doesn't
Oh,
rap to gangsters.
Yo, what's up?
What?
Yo, I just got really into this early '90s Memphis rap that these fucking dudes were just recording in their basement. They were making these tapes, and then like everyone was trading these tapes, and now somebody digitized them all, and they're fucking crazy.
All right.
It's
let's,
so good.
Let's stick to the story. He's walking out with a tape measure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You take it.
Well, no, okay, yeah. So they're sitting in the party, and he's like, "I'm not going out there," and then everyone's at the party is kind of like looking at him, and he's like, "Yeah, he's not going out there," and he looks across the room at his wife, and his wife's like, "Honey, we did just buy the property," because everyone's got like coke eyes too,
Yeah.
And he goes, and he takes another sip of his martini, and he looks around. He goes, "All right, I'll go out there." And he's in the next room, and he's going through like all the papers and everything, and he's looking for like the blueprints.
Mm-hmm.
And then he finds blueprints and the tape measurers, and he goes out the side door, and he goes, "Freddy, come with me." And Freddy's the guy who noticed the fire.
Okay. Okay.
And so they all go, and so then now what happens?
Okay. So they go out there, and the old man is standing on top of the
Okay, yeah, no, yeah. No. He's standing in front of the fire, holding two bones, like kind of like out, like he's praising, as if he's praising it. His arms are out with two bones in his hands, and he's like looking at it. And they're walking towards him, and they're trying to get his attention.
I don't think he's praising it. This isn't like a spiritual thing for him. He's just standing there, drinking.
He's just standing there drinking, but he's standing in front of the fire, so he's kind of a silhouette,
Yeah.
And he's looking at them. And they're approaching, and they're kind of like sitting next to each other, close to each other, walking because it's cold out, and they're kind of like unsure of what's going on. And as they're approaching, they're like, "Hey, Mister, what's his name? Bobby,
Mr. Bobby Bo.
Bobby Bo, stupidest name ever, dude.
Give him a better. All right, Mr. LaCroix.
Oh yeah, isn't that his real name?
What? No, this isn't a real person.
Yo, this is fake, man. I hate this shit.
No, his name is Bobby LaCroix.
Oh yeah, Bobby.
No, that's
LaCroix.
not a very New England name.
Mr. LaCroix. Can I talk to you for a second? And then his friend Freddie goes, "Dude, I think he's butt naked." He goes, "What are you talking about?"
No, he made clothes out of fur. Remember, he's wearing bloody fur.
Oh yeah.
He like didn't even clean it. It's just like he's just covered in like skins and animal blood.
And so what happened?
I think they go. He goes, "Hey, Mr. LaCroix, I think that you might have built your fence a little bit onto our property line."
How does he even know that? He didn't even see it.
He's on coke. He's just an idiot.
Oh yeah.
And he goes,
and Freddie goes, "Wait, we don't know that for sure." He goes, "Oh, well,
yeah, wait, and then Bob interrupts him. He's like, "Well, I can tell you for sure that you're on my property." And he goes, "I know. Listen, I know you don't want us on your property, but we need to talk. We need to talk like neighbors." Because he goes, "I will talk to the wall," and he pushes him into the wall. And, he gets a little poked up, but he's not, like, badly injured. But this thing is sharp. He's like, "Hey, man, you could have really hurt me." And he goes, I might still. And he swings the shovel at him. And then, and so the main yuppie's name is Dan. Freddy's his friend. Freddy grabs the shovel, and Dan punches Bobby in the stomach. Bobby, when he's kneeled over, bites Dan in the thigh, and Dan's like, he fucking bit me. So he starts punching the back of Bob's head, and then Freddy goes, "Don't worry, I got him." Freddy grabs Bob by the ankles and slams him into the wall, but Bob gets impaled by a set of antlers. And he goes, "You fucking stabbed me through. You fucking city freaks. If I get off this wall, I'm gonna tear you apart. I'm gonna tear your whole fucking life apart. I'm gonna tear your fucking soul apart." And then he just dies. And then they're like, fuck, you just killed a guy, man. And he's like, "Oh, fuck, shit. Okay, all right, but it was self-defense." He's like, "Was it? I don't know. This is New England. There's totally different laws. We're on his property. We're on coke. What the fuck can we do?" It's like, okay. All right, we need to hide the body. I was like, hide the body. Listen, I don't trust any of the fucking people at our party. If he goes missing, one of them might rat us out. And he goes, if they see us leaving in a car, it's way too fucking obvious. And they're like, okay, all right, we got to think.
And then they both do a bump.
Oh, yeah, they do a bump because they need to think clearly. And they're like, okay, we could throw them into that pit with all the dead animals. Like, that's going to be the first place they look.
He goes, "No, we'll set it on fire."
And they go, they're gonna fucking find human bones, and they're they're gonna check his teeth. Like, this guy's never been to a dentist, and they're like, oh, we can't take that risk. So they go, wait,
You're pouring the foundation for the swimming pool.
we hide him in the wall. No one's gonna look in this fucking wall. To even approach it, you're gonna stab yourself. You're gonna get tetanus. So we just need to take a few minutes, get a little cut up, and get his body into the rest of this fucking wall of blood and guts. No one will ever be able to disentangle it from him or
Disentangle.
Are you doing a word search?
I think it's untangle. I don't know.
I believe disentangle is a word.
Really?
Yeah.
Seems like a roundabout way of saying untangle.
I think it has a slightly different meaning, and that it's the more appropriate meaning for this situation.
Oh, untangle is like a cord.
Yeah, disentangle means yes. I think
Conceptually.
I think you untangle something from itself. You disentangle something from something else. Because you get tangled with yourself, but you get entangled with something else.
You
Yeah.
have to be untangled to disentangle.
No, you don't. You can be.
You just yelled at me like I was a child.
Because you're acting like one.
No, you don't.
Listen, I'm wearing these big headphones. I can't really hear myself. Like, I can only hear you, so it's a little hard to modulate my voice.
All right, so he who's? Oh yeah, he's where?
So now they're ripping into the wall. They're getting all cut up, but they're cutting him up now and sticking his body into different parts of the wall. We see
and this is a really claustrophobic scene. Like they're like reaching in. There's bones like pushing on their face and everything.
Yeah. There's
really uncomfortable.
There's like a squirrel that bites one of them in the face.
Yeah, because things are half alive. Oh my god. You know that scene in Labyrinth with all the hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
and one part
claustrophobia.
they're putting his hand that's been cut off into a part of the wall, and it grabs his fucking wrist, and he goes, "Oh my fucking god, his hand is alive!" And the other one comes and just smacks it with the shovel. Goes, "No, man, it's just the nerves. The nerves are still firing off."
Yeah.
And then we see that the old man's wife, Darla, is watching from the window, and she's just drinking tea. And then they go back into the party, and everyone's like, "Yo, you guys look fucked up. What happened?" And they go, "This is what we looked like when we left." And they just
what?
They just deny so hard that everyone eventually is just like, "Okay." Because that's a trick. You can just keep lying, and people will have to accept it if you are just steadfast.
Yeah.
Especially if they're on drugs.
But then you'll be entangled with lies.
Or will you be tangled in lies? I think to be tangled up with something is to be entangled with something.
It's a half full, empty thing?
Not at all. So the next morning, Dan, and what's Dan's wife's name? We need to start naming the ladies.
Glaria. Sorry.
How about Allison?
What? Come on, Glaria.
How about Allison?
All right.
Okay. So they wake up, and for a second, like, they smile and they like cuddle for a second, and then Dan remembers what he did last night, and he shoots up, and she goes, "What's wrong?" And he goes, "Nothing. I forgot where we were. I'm still getting used to this place. I'm gonna go make coffee. Do you want coffee?" And he goes down, and he's drinking his coffee, and he's staring at the fence, and it's almost like it's staring back at him. But how do we convey that?
Just slowly zooming in on it and making, having those foreboding.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Take it.
and
Yeah.
so he'll be like at the kitchen. No, he'll be like in the back with the construction crew, and he's got like the Howard hat on and everything. He's trying to be like, Mr. Construction, and he's kind of just getting in the way. And he'll eventually, like, every once in a while, he'd be like, we'll see him like through the bulldozers moving back and forth. We'll like zoom in on him looking, and there'll be dirt flying everywhere, and we'll see him looking like with this like dead stare, and we'll see that he's looking across at the fence.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's kind of always catching his eye.
He's lost, and what breaks him from the stare is Darla, the old man's wife, goes, "Excuse me," and he freaks out, and he pulls his hand back to punch her. But then he sees that it's an old lady, and he drops it.
And like the laborers to the left of him who are like doing something, kind of like stop, and we see them looking at him like with like fucking like what the fuck kind of eyes,
And she's
he literally just almost punched a woman.
Yeah, and an old woman, and she goes, "I brought you some cookies," and he goes, "Oh, thank you. You're very kind." And she goes, "I know you got off to a bad foot with my
husband,
with Robert the other day."
Yeah, she goes, I saw you the other night. I saw you last night. And he looks at her like with crazy eyes, and she finishes her sentence and says, "Having a party with your friends. Are you all moved in?"
Yeah, yeah. Can you just come a little closer to the mic? You're getting a little lower than you were.
Sorry, I had burps.
And he goes, I saw that your husband made the fence. Is he? And she goes, "Oh, he's gone away for a little while."
She goes, "I believe you wanted to talk to him about the property issue,
property
line issue." And he goes,
he's gone away for a little while, but he'll be back. I have a feeling.
But yes, I'm going to the town courts tomorrow to see the engineers, and I was wondering. Sorry.
What?
All right, no.
Yeah. Don't worry. She walks off, and then after she walks off, he walks to the fence and he just touches the fence, and he notices that a crow has built crows have begun to build their nests in it.
No. Maybe. But listen, I wanted him to be like in the house, in the kitchen or something, looking over, and he sees inside the fence. It looks like hands are moving, and he thinks he's hallucinating now.
Okay.
Yeah, and then what'd you say happens?
Oh, he walks up to the fence and he sees that there's the crows, all sorts of birds are building nests in it.
Because he thought he saw the hand, and that's why he went out.
But at the same time, other animals, because it's been baited, have walked into it and died. So it's growing. Yeah.
How about it's just a crazy, gruesome magnet for animals, and when they go to it, they just it almost like, it kills the animal, and as animals go to it more and more, they just get built up on it, and it's just this giant object of dying, living animals.
Yeah, that's the whole premise.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
I just got it.
Yeah, like we see a scene of like a cat walks up to it, and the cat like smells it, and then it just jumps onto it and impales itself.
Yeah, and there's deer that are just like, all you see are their hind legs kicking,
Yeah,
and they're like their guts are like intertwined, entangled.
Yeah. It's mystical, if you might say.
Watch yourself.
I like the first line of that song was, "I came into this party with my dick in my hand. Don't make me leave with my foot in your ass."
That's just goddamn genius. Good. See, that's why they gave him all the money.
It's just a weird starting place. Like I walked in fondling myself, and I want to keep doing that. So don't start a fight with me.
Otherwise, I'm gonna enact my second fetish, sticking my foot in your ass.
He like takes his shoe off and like slowly sticks his bare foot in someone's ass after like lubing it up.
Like, that's so mystical.
Watch yourself.
Anyway, so
Anyway.
Sorry. What happened? I completely forgot everything that happened.
So yeah, he sees the monstrosity of this fence. He sees that it's growing.
Yes, yes.
Um,
And he kind of like backs up and falls, and does like the backwards crawl.
yeah, because
Because things are like looking at him in the eyes, dying and begging for his help.
yeah, and he knows that he can't ask for this fence to be pulled down because someone might find the old man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes.
So
And
he called.
So the next day, he's at the construction site.
The next
again.
day, we just next dayed our way here.
Okay, Mr. fucking Bronx over here. The next day.
I can't modulate my accent. It's his headphones.
Jesus, you got very New York on me tonight.
All right.
Listen, what was I gonna say now? I keep forgetting. Well, I was gonna say that somebody should suggest that he has it taken down. All he has to do is go into town and complain about it. And he goes, I guarantee you ain't got a building permit for that. It's what a laborer guy says. And I don't know. We're just like setting up that.
Well, no, I
think
think that Allison should ask that it be taken down because it's
his
fucking
wife is
horrifying.
like, are you going to be doing something about that? It's fucking disgusting.
And he's like,
what
no.
is it?
He goes, no, just get off my back. And then he puts a shovel up to her neck like the old man did to Darla.
Oh yeah.
And she goes, Daniel, what the?
Really? He's gonna straight up threaten her.
He goes, I don't know what I don't know what I listen.
I don't know what got into me. He drops a shovel and just runs out of the room.
He just starts crying.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, you better figure it out. And you better do something about that fence or I'm moving back in with
Mother.
my other boyfriend.
What?
I don't know. Just trying to add some spice.
Yeah. Oh, some backstory.
I'm moving back in with my mother.
Who I have sexual relationship with.
Too much spice. Too spicy.
That's a late night.
Okay. All right. So
she's like threatens to. No. He just threatened her life. So she's crying. He's crying. He doesn't know what the hell just happened. He was possessed, basically. She's like, I'm going to my mother's.
Wait, I think he just tries to blame. Yeah. And then the next scene is just him flushing cocaine down the toilet.
Yeah,
I think he's like, it's the drugs.
And then we were like kind of.
You
like
know what's
outside.
funny is the moral of the story is obviously going to be it's not the drugs.
It's not the
Keep doing drugs.
You should have never flushed that coke. No. See, and the next shot is him sitting on the edge of the bed, and the camera's outside the room, tracking in toward him, and he's sitting on this edge of the bed on a cell phone, trying to get in touch with her, but he keeps getting her voicemail. He's leaving a voicemail like, "Listen, honey, I'm going to check myself into rehab. I don't know what is going on."
And then Freddie calls.
Yeah, and then you hear beep beep, and he looks, and it's just like a random number, but to him it's a local number.
Yeah.
So then he looks and he picks up. He goes, "Hello," and you hear, and in the background you hear like crickets and cicadas, and then you hear.
Wait, no. Freddie is his friend, not the old man.
Oh.
But you can go. Yeah, it's okay. So the old man calls.
No, I was just going because you said it.
Yeah, no. That's not what I said. Freddie calls. His friend calls.
Yeah. He goes, "Hey man, I'm in the shower."
And he's like, "Listen, man, I've been thinking about what we did the other night." And he's like, "Shut up about that."
Yeah, don't on the fucking phone.
He's like, "What do you think that your phone is tapped? You're a fucking architect."
He's like, "Jesus, we killed some
you're not
fucking
in the Black Panthers."
Yeah.
Like,
we killed some redneck fucking nobody. He goes,
"We killed someone who's gonna die in 3 weeks. Stop being a bitch."
He goes, "Okay, would you stop using keywords? Just come over."
And then he goes, "Entangled." Tape measurer.
Yes, this is also going to be.
So he comes over and he brings twice as much coke as Dan just flushed down the toilet.
Yeah.
And he goes,
"What are you doing?" He
And
goes,
no,
"What do you mean,
Dan
what am
looks.
I
He
doing?"
goes, I don't think the septic tank could take anymore. We're gonna have to do this all. So they do a bunch of coke and they just start like rambling about all this stuff to kind of clear their minds. They're just like, listen, that guy built the fence that killed him. He basically killed himself. And they're like, yeah, and listen, this was a brawl. If this was 100 years ago and we got into a fight with a guy and he died, we wouldn't even get arrested. This would have been like a duel. And they're like, and anyway, that guy was mentally ill. He was naked, covered in blood. Do you think he was going to die of an infection?
He threatened us.
It's like,
Don't you remember?
I don't feel bad. In fact, I'm angry that we have to keep this a secret. We should feel empowered by what we did that night. And then Dan goes, yeah, and he goes, no, man, I feel so fucked up about it. We killed a guy. And
He goes, yeah, but didn't it get your dick a little wet? And he looks at him and goes,
your dick gets wet?
and he looks at him really intense, like, and Freddy just goes, I'm kidding, dude. This is fucked up. We killed someone.
Anyway, my dick gets hard, not wet.
That's a good line, though.
And they go, should we turn ourselves in? And Freddy goes, fuck no. You think you feel bad now? Think about how bad you'll feel spending the rest of your life in prison.
Yeah. I don't think so. What? That's not a good one?
It's a little much.
What do you... Okay, mister. Every fucking joke's about assholes and witches.
I'm just saying we might cut to the laser sounds there for a second.
Really?
We'll see.
All right.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Um,
Tom, FCC. Whatever your last name is.
So they're feeling pretty bad, and then Dan goes, I want to give him a real burial. This is fucked up. He shouldn't be in that fence.
Maybe the dreams will stop if we at least do that.
And Freddy goes, okay, but
I'm not digging. I'm not shoveling.
We need to do a lot more coke first.
Yes.
So what song
he goes,
plays?
he goes, all right, but we'll have to start cooking it first.
Oh my god! So then they start smoking crack.
Yeah. And this is actually a really funny montage of them making it in the kitchen.
Yeah, no, they smoke crack. They're like it's like fall, but like they've gone stripped down to their underwears. They have like a weird slap fight.
They're sweating.
They're listening to like House of
Stooges. Pain. All right, yeah, both at the same time.
Yeah, yeah, and
it's a mashup. It's a live mashup, man.
Of Stooges, House of Pain.
Yeah.
They put them on two turntables. It sounds terrible because both the music and the lyrics are playing from both.
Yeah. It's just a complete mush, but they love it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Freddy
and they're both in
it.
their tidy whities, sweating.
I think Dan is like, this isn't very good, man.
Yeah.
So then they go out. They're both in their underwear, but they put ski masks on, and they head to the wall. And they start dislodging bones, and
they're slipping on mud.
And they're slipping on mud, and then what happens, Jerry?
I don't know, but I like this story. It's really funny. It's gonna get ruined.
Oh,
I know it.
and then so they're doing this for a while, and then Freddy gets like his whole top of his body into this hole, and he's like, I think I found a leg, and he gets pulled into the fucking wall.
Yeah, they keep going deeper and deeper.
Well, Freddy gets pulled into the wall. He gets like pulled against his will. He gets like yanked into it.
Yeah.
Oh wait, maybe I like your idea too, that they enter it like a labyrinth.
Yeah, it just keeps going deeper and deeper.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, so now they're in the wall, and they're like, fuck, okay.
and like the
Wait, no,
the
they
wall
just-
the wall
they
is just
s-
made of dead animals. Just to remind you.
Yeah, and bones. Like, yeah. And they go like, oh, we're not gonna be able to tell his body from the rest of this. This is fruitless. Let's just get out. And like,
Yeah, but
Dan's like,
also-
wait. Dan's
They
like,
have to
okay.
be gagging though.
Yeah, but they've taken off their ski masks and they're holding it to their mouths. And they turn around to leave, but they can't find the way out.
Yeah.
So now they're just in this like weird horizontal temple of flesh and bone. They do puke, but there's only so much puking you can do before you adjust to the smell, you know?
Hmm.
And then
I mean, are they gonna find him?
well, maybe they'll find a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. Where is this leading? Literally, and
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe to China?
this has something. This is an allegory for Chinese.
The Great Wall the Great Wall of China. There's
Oh my
something there.
God! How do we not see that?
Yeah.
Immediate illusion.
Don't do that.
Think about it.
Yeah, I'm cutting that out.
All right, fine.
Okay, so
Censor all my best work.
that one's just for me. Okay, all right. So they're lost. This is such a fucking interesting place to have them.
I
How
know.
are we stalling
It's like,
here?
I'm losing all my fuel.
Like, okay, so, oh, all right. So they find a live raccoon in there that's uninjured, and they go, there's like, I think some of the animals in here are
Breeding.
like, thriving and breeding. And he goes, well, what the fuck? So what? And he goes, well,
Breathing?
you know,
No, breeding. That joke
Yeah.
comes back.
and they're like, well, that must mean that they're, getting in and out. So, because they, like a raccoon doesn't eat meat. It's like going out and probably bringing corn in and shit. So we'll just follow
What a
them.
Stupid conversation. Sorry. I'm really sorry.
We'll follow. We just gotta follow the live animals, and that should help us get out. This
Or-
sucks.
Yeah.
Go fucking help me. Help me. I'm dying here. I'm dying in this wall. It's a metaphor.
Well. Okay, so maybe they don't go deep down into it. Maybe it's kind of like crawling into a crawl space, if you will, in like an attic. And Dan is just like really just wedged in there deep, and he goes, I think I see his head. And he's like, and we got like just a flashlight view of what he's seeing. It's almost like he's crawling through a colon, if you can imagine that.
And then the head starts coming right at him.
And
'cause
then
it's on a raccoon's
and then he
body.
goes, dude, and he goes, okay, and then we should get a shot. Oh my God, yeah, you're right. He goes, we get a shot of Freddy holding his feet, and he goes, I can't go any. This is it. Like that's as far as I can let you down, or else I'm gonna lose my grip. And he goes, I just need a little bit more. I think I see something, and we see what he's seeing, and it's like a flashlight view of this like very small cavern of the top of his head, and then he goes, do you see him? We hear that from Freddy echoing behind him, and then we get a still shot of Dan trying to really see like in the dark like what he's looking at, and then we see the shot of what he's looking at is top of the head, and all of a sudden the head slowly turns up and he's got his eyes open. And he goes, help! And he goes, ah! He starts screaming, the light's shaking, and he's like, what is? He starts kicking, and Dan's like, stop! What are you doing? And then he drops him.
He drops him.
Yeah, because he's
Oh
kicking.
my god! So
And
Freddy, he gets impaled on a rib cage.
Yeah, because he's sliding down this animal, wall, and he just like gets caught up in like bones and shit, and now he's like inches from the old man's face, and the old man's now like, got his mouth open and like breathing on him, and he's sticking his tongue out and like licking him. He's going,
So then fucking yeah. So then Dan just fucking books it. He leaves Freddy to die.
no, Dan's in the hole. Freddy's the one that was holding him.
Freddy died. Freddy fell.
Okay.
Now Dan booked it. So he's going down the tunnel. He didn't fall down the hole. And there should be a thing of the crit folk, the crit folk, like they should be
Like a society?
like some kind of antagonistic animal entities to the old man. Because we did set that up.
Well, yeah, the walls are alive.
The walls are alive, but they're not on the side of the old man, I don't think. I think what's basically happened was this old man built a hell.
Yeah, and he became a prisoner of his own hell.
Yeah, but
no one is friends in this hell.
Yeah, well, no. I think the creatures that make up the walls have an antagonistic relationship with the old man.
Really? But he's the one who tortured them.
Yes, that's what antagonistic means. They don't like each other.
Oh, antagonist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Meant metaphysicist.
Yeah, you thought I meant that word that has nothing to do with what we're talking about or sounds like what I'm saying?
Okay, antagonist, bad guy, protagonist, good guy.
Yes. So how do these crit folk communicate with Dan? Because they're going to try to help him out.
I mean, they're animals. They don't communicate with humans. I don't know.
But maybe a lot of stuff that doesn't happen is already starting to happen. So maybe
this movie is fucking...
What? Are you there? Fuck.
I gotcha. I like how you cleared up in the last episode when it got cut out. The whole explanation.
Oh, yeah.
It was very long and winded.
Long and winded, huh?
Yeah.
You know what? You didn't need the word "end" there. That's really a funny little ironic thing. You made the word long-winded.
Yeah. It's a joke.
Oh no, it's not. No,
Yeah. I'm so intelligent. I wrote that.
That was your brain bleeding to death.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, fuck.
Yeah. So he falls and he's getting licked by this thing, and then he eventually.
That's Freddy.
Yeah. And then we see Dan running back to his house, and he's like he's in his tighty whities, and he's all muddy, and he's like slipping and panicking and like whimpering. And then we cut back to a shot of Freddy slipping in, and now his head is being eaten like a snake.
Yeah,
by the old man.
And the old man has made a snake body out of all these animals.
Oh my god, yes.
But it's also got giant
god, yes.
Giant like spider legs on the snake body made out of like deer legs and
shit.
Dude,
yes. He becomes this giant stitched animal beast. That breaks out of... Well, we shouldn't say it, but we're going there.
So Freddy... Follow me on this. So Dan runs home. He runs into the bathroom. He pukes. He cries a bunch. He, slaps himself in the face. He gets a hold of himself, and he takes a shower.
Does more coke.
He gets into some clothes, and he's just trying to calm down. There's a knock at the door. He's like, fuck. He's like, okay. I'm going to tell them everything. And he opens the door, expecting it to be a cop. But what it is it's a deer head standing on a bear's body with, it's just a fucking creature made of a bunch of creatures.
And it has two squirrels biting its nipples, hanging as tassels.
Perhaps. And it says... It says, "You brought the devil into the wall." And he goes, "What? What?" He's like, "You brought the old man into the wall." And he goes, "Who are you?" And he goes, "I am the wall." So this thing is like an embodiment of all of
The ancient Native Americans legend.
I guess, sure. I mean, it's just like it's just the embodiment of like
Nature,
all of
nature itself.
yeah.
It is.
Like,
You know how like in reality, like like all those things are really terrible. Like
you know how in life most things are bad.
like think about like the concept of like Santa Claus, like always watching you. Like that's terrifying.
Yeah,
Coming to your house whenever he wants, and like the Easter Bunny. Those are all terrifying if put placed in reality.
yeah, it's jizzing in your shoes.
Yeah. So they're like this. Like what is it? Like like it is Mother Nature. That's the whole concept.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because nature is brutal. Like everyone's like, oh, Mother Nature's beautiful. No, no, no. When Mother Nature manifests itself as reality, it becomes this.
Yeah, yeah. And it stinks. It smells bad.
Oh yeah, it's
dripping.
got like giardia and fucking like terrible things just like all over it.
Yeah, and it goes, "You must enter me and destroy the germ that you placed inside my body."
Cure mange for all animals.
And he goes, What do you want me to do?" He's like, "We will venture into the wall and we will face Bobby LaCroix."
What is this, blood sport?
Well, you clean that up then.
No, it's got to be like mystical and
Well, he
biblical.
goes, "Okay, so but
It sounds like an announcer on pay-per-view.
dialogue.
It's your strong suit.
Yeah, but you can't push a button and make it happen. So
True,
we might
you
have
gotta
to
work it, you gotta
come
work
back and work it.
Okay, so he basically unveils the legend of Mother Nature. Oh, maybe it is a mother that has to be destroyed.
No, the mother is the good thing.
No, Mother Nature's evil.
No,
No.
Jerry, you're missing the whole point. Jerry. I heard myself that time.
Okay, good.
No, you're missing the whole point. The old man was hurting the crit folk. This is them rallying around the guy who killed the old man to be their defender.
Yeah, but I think it's just like watching two terrible things fight each other.
It's not. Mother Nature is amoral. It's not good or bad.
It's just brutal.
But Bobby LaCroix is bad.
Okay, so where does he fit into this?
Where's the old lady fit into it? And where's
we
China
kinda just-
fit into it?
Okay, we're getting there with China, definitely.
Oh, maybe the old lady comes out from behind the animal and goes, "She's right. You have to." She's like, "I watched you kill my husband. And I didn't tell anyone because I knew you were destroying something evil. Something bad for this whole land. For any land it might be. That's why he hates China. Because it's the biggest land mass in the world. He hates all the land. Doesn't mind the culture.
Loves the people.
It's the land. Really. It just turns him off. Too many fields. She goes, "But wasn't he a farmer?" He was a complicated man. He was an excellent lover, though.
Oh, you should have seen him love.
You saw his penis.
You've seen it, right?
So she starts elbowing. But she goes, I
Love
knew there was
you.
no. She goes, the reason he killed the crit folk is because he'd be sucking up their life essences. That's why he survived past death. And that wall,
Again, clean up the dialogue.
that wall's provided him with all sorts of life essences. Why is the old lady talking like this? That wall's providing him with all sorts of life essences. Now he'll be powerful. So you have to enter the wall, as Mother Nature described, and do battle with him, as you've killed him before. He goes,
No, it sounded like pay-per-view. Why would she say this to him? And I thought he was secretly making this wall.
Wait, no, he's just doing coke while she's talking, too. So he's just like, okay, all right, yeah, I'm the chosen one. And she goes, well, no, Freddy was the chosen one, but he died, so you're just the only other person who knows about the wall.
Your choice, too.
He goes, I'm number 2, just like my dad always said. That means poop.
That's good. It's like a double entendre.
I'm so sick of all these single entendres.
Well, yeah, wouldn't that make it 4 then?
What?
A double
It's pronounced enfant.
entente?
It's a double. It's a double.
Double entente.
It's a double. So he goes, I can't. He goes, I couldn't even beat him up by myself when he was just an old man. How am I supposed to do it now that he's a snake beast?
Beat him up? Listen, I don't like this direction. I want to go back to the door with the animal.
Fair enough.
So the animal tells him the legend of Mother Nature. Why is so funny?
I think, yeah, okay, go on.
And then he's just sitting there because he fell on the floor, and he's sitting there listening to this. And he goes, well, so how does this involve me? And he goes, you must stop her. And then the animal, the bear, buckhead bear with the squirrel nipples, just falls, it like collapses, the life
into a bunch of different animals.
Well, no, it just falls apart.
Yeah.
It just becomes limbs and fucking dead body parts.
Yeah. And then the moose head looks at him and goes, place me upon your flesh. And he starts adorning himself with all of these creatures to the point that he looks like Mother
he's wearing the bodysuit.
Yeah.
And then he goes to approach the wall. And now the wall is sitting there. It's like, kind of like, it's like almost like.
Wait.
Okay. No.
It's standing in front of the wall.
No, listen. Come on,
we need the old lady back.
No, fuck this old lady. We wrote her out. It's one of those movies. We didn't want to have her back.
It's one of those bad movies.
No, okay. We're going to have her come back at the end. Don't worry.
Okay.
So he walks up to the wall. Now it's like dusk again, beautiful lighting.
Come back to the mic. You're getting low.
This dusk again, this beautiful lighting, very blue, and there's fog, and it looks cold and windy, and he's going to the wall, and he goes, I'm here. What do you want? And it's like echoing through the field. And we just get a shot of like the length of the fence and to the left and right, and you can hear it just like crack or like moving like in the wind, like.
Yeah.
And it's like he's waiting for a response from this inanimate object, and then nothing's happened. And he goes, "What do you?" And before he can say anything, you hear, and then we get a shot of the fence moving, and it's like shaking a little more. And then he goes, and he steps back like he doesn't know what's going on. And then all of a sudden we hear the fence like shaking and vibrating, and we get a wide shot of him in the middle from behind looking at the fence, and it's shaking, and then the fence just like unwraps from the ground, and like it becomes like these two loose ends, and like gets up and almost pushes itself up, and it becomes like this beast that stands up, made of all dead dinosaur bones, no, dead animal, and old dead animals.
Yeah.
It becomes Mother Nature. And it kind of looks like...
No,
what?
No. Yes, Dan has become Mother Nature.
Yes,
No.
No.
What?
No.
Why are you being a dildo?
Okay, fine. Because I think Mother Nature should be evil. That's so kids love that.
That doesn't make sense. Dan just became Mother Nature.
No, he is man. And
Then why
the
is
whole
he
moral of the story
why
is
is he-
again that man defeats nature. Okay, well you don't like that. All right, you want Mother Nature to be him?
That's exactly what happened. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense. I think we mixed the two. Mother Nature did come to the door. Maybe the old lady didn't. Mother Nature did say you have to battle fucking Bobby LaCroix. You know, we good dialogue. Then he adorns himself in Mother Nature, and then he goes into the wall in this way that you're talking about, but the wall kind of swallows him up. And now we are coming to, we're heading towards his final showdown between Dan, who is this representative of Mother Nature, and Bobby LaCroix, who is purely a representative of hate.
Mm.
So now Dan's in the wall. Now, there's something happening where Dan can incorporate some of the wall and some of the animals in there into himself, but it depends on how much life is in them. So if they're either completely dead or completely alive, he can take them in. But it's in the area between life and death. That's where Bobby LaCroix can take them in, because that is where hate is the strongest. When something is dying, for a quick moment, it feels... It enters the hate zone. and Mother Nature is whispering us all into Daniel's ear as exposition. That's like a snake earring.
What?
Yeah.
The snake earring.
Yeah, he's wearing animals.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they're both getting bigger, and we can see that Daniel's getting bigger, but Bobby LaCroix we only see as a shadow because he's on the far side of the tunnel that is the fence. So he's getting bigger, and the shadow's getting bigger, and then we see that Daniel's getting bigger until the point where they both emerge from the fence, and they are both just these parts of the fence, and they're facing one another down. And it is on one side, it's Daniel, a mixture of life and death, of fresh living tissue and dry bone. And then on the other side, it is Bobby LaCroix, who is necrosis. He is just animals mid-death. Every part of him is screaming in pain except for his face, which is cold, stoic hate.
Okay.
And they're facing off.
And they eat each other.
Oh, well, they both open their mouths to eat each other, but they get locked in like a French kiss.
Mm.
And then inside the mouths,
the tongues are dueling.
The two men fight. So it's Daniel fighting, and then it's Bobby's head and all of his body parts being held together by they come together, and the two men fight inside the mouths. And while they're fighting, the outside bodies are fighting, though they're locked in a French kiss.
Yeah, that's great. Oh my god, I can't wait to film that.
And and this is brutal fight. And then Daniel realizes what's going on. He realizes that what's happening outside is not a fight. It's lovemaking. It is death and life, and then dying and pain, and all these parts of nature coming together. And he realizes the same thing has to happen inside the mouth. So he kisses Bobby LaCroix and seduces him.
And we zoom into their mouth.
And there's another little guy in there. No, so then I think they're making love.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, because of the whole Mother Nature thing.
Yeah.
Because oh no, that's pissing and shitting.
Well, they're doing that too. Oh yeah, no. So they're having sex. They're pissing. They're shitting. They're ripping each other's skin off. It's every thing: violence, sex, excrement, all of the eating, all of the things of life
Violence,
are happening.
sex, excrement. Okay.
All of the happenings of life are happening.
We've got it all here, baby.
And then the wall comes a tumbling down.
Yeah, it's got to collapse on itself.
Yeah. And when it lands.
No, that's it. He goes, the only thing to defeat him is pure love. And that's that's when he goes for the mouth kiss. And as he sticks his tongue, because we do get a shot of inside their mouths. So there's the mouths of the monsters with the mouths of Dan and the old man, and inside their mouths we see their tongues touch, and right when they touch, this burst of beautiful yellow light emerges from both of their mouths, and we see it emerge from the mouths of the two beasts that are making out, and then we see it emerge from the outside of the fence, and it's just like this beautiful, blinding, enormous light, and it starts coming out of every crack of the fence, and it just blows up.
Okay, yeah, and then the old lady is watching from the window, and she's just drinking tea and smiling.
Yes.
And then the fucking fence blows up. It's raining animals, but both of these men are fine now. They're both lying there nude.
Hard.
On either side. Yes. On
They
either
say
side,
that happens.
On either side. No, they're not dead.
No.
They're on either side of the fence. Freddy's there too. He's okay as well. And they all get up and they all look at each other. And Freddy and Dan walk back to the house, and the old man walks back to his house. And his wife is there, and he looks at her really angry. But then he gives her a kiss on the cheek and goes to bed.
No. Oh my God. So no. Okay. Listen. I'm not. Oh, we're doing all that. Listen. So they're sitting there laying there naked, and it's raining. And they're sitting around, and it's just covered in mud and guts and blood and everything. And they're like, and it's raining really loud, so it's kind of, they're like, I can't believe it, we're alive. And they're like embracing, and they're like, I'm never eating meat again, like me neither. And they make a big joke about becoming vegans.
Who is this?
Freddie and Dan and the old man.
Oh my God, they're all.
The old man's kind of not. He doesn't know what's going on because he's really confused. He's been out the longest, and they're all like, they're like helping him, but as they're helping him, they're talking to each other too. They're like, yeah. They're like, don't worry, I think we're gonna be okay. And then so they all go to their respectable houses, and the old lady is now caring for the old man who's in bed with, like, we see him like sleeping in bed, like all warm and cozy because he's like getting rest from his horrible event. And the old lady's sitting there in a rocking chair with the tea, like watching him. And all of a sudden there's a knock at the door, and she goes to the door, and it's Dan and Freddie. And they're like, hey, we just wanted to make sure everything is okay here. And she's like, yeah, don't worry, boys. Everything is great now that everything's over with. And they're like, yeah, I know. And she goes, but then they're like, I don't know where to go from here with everything. And the old lady's like, she moves in close. She puts her hand on his face. She goes, oh, boy. What did she say?
I don't know. This isn't where I was.
She goes, don't you worry. There'll be another time.
I don't think that's what happened.
And she's Mother Nature.
I don't like it.
Oh my God! Come on. She looks at the camera thriller style.
Wait, maybe we'll come back to that. But I like the idea that they go in, they don't really embrace or anything. The old man walks in, and we see that subtle indication that he's changed by this.
Yeah.
That he just gives his wife a kiss on the cheek and goes to bed. The next morning, Dan writes a letter to his wife, drives into the city, drops it off in front of her mother's house. She comes home. We're getting back. It seems like it's a happy ending. We cut to a few weeks later. They're both Dan and the old man are on their respective sides of the property, and they kind of just nod to each other. They don't have a relationship. They're not friendly, but they tolerate one another now. And then, well, okay, take it from there. Is there a way to tie these two stories together? These two endings together?
Well, I want the old lady to be evil.
Why?
I don't know. Why not? The hell else is gonna happen?
Maybe she comes back to Dan's house and brings him cookies again. And then it's Allison that answers the door, and she goes, "Oh, hi, it's so nice to meet you." And she's like, "Oh, it's so nice to meet you. Is your husband home?" And she goes, "Yeah. I'll go get him." And or she goes, "He's in the garage." And so she walks into the garage. The old lady, Darla, walks into the garage. Dan is there. He's working on his car. He goes, "Oh, hey, is everything okay?" And she goes, "Oh, everything's wonderful now. Bobby's been so much sweeter since that night with you in the fence." And he goes, "Oh, you know about that?" And she goes, "I bet you've been sweeter too. You've probably given up some bad habits." And he goes, "Yeah, I guess it."
I don't masturbate in the morning anymore.
Just 3 times in the afternoon. But what do you know what went on? And she goes, "I know that you saw a really beautiful side of nature that night." And then she pulls him in close and she goes, "But you haven't seen my ugliest side." And she opens her mouth and snakes come out and wrap around his neck.
Okay, I love it. Because she does. She is
and
Mother Nature, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And big letters come up and she goes, "She is Mother Nature."
You're welcome.
Dracula.
Oh my God, yes. I like that story.
I like that song.
I love it all.